Hi, buddy. This is just Martin91, and today I'm here to talk to you guys about Moon Knight episode 6, the final episode so far. I'm not sure if this is considered a limited series now, or if they extended it to a full series and it's getting a season 2. I'm not sure. Kevin Feige did say that as soon as this 6 episode arc is going to end, it's going to transcend into the MCU films. So I'm not sure if that's still happening or if that's going to coincide with the show moving on, because it was way too popular for them to just leave it at that. But that being said, I personally feel like if there was a story mapped out for these 6 episodes, then don't just make it for the money's sake. If there was a story planted into the films, continue with that. Like, don't ruin this show. It had an amazing run, and they need to put some care and energy in if they want to bring it back and even hit the marks that the first one hit, if they can even hit that. Regardless, here to talk to you about episode 6 right now. So it is quite obvious that the majority of the budget went to this episode, and I got very it trips me up when I see online that people are complaining that this is the shortest episode and stuff. I'm like, look, it's only shortest by 3 minutes. And the first episode was, in fact, the shortest. And that had so much going for it. There's so much like, just because an episode is semi shorter than the rest doesn't mean that there's nothing's gonna happen. This episode had a lot of things involved. We actually had the highest amount of screen time of Moon Knight in this one. May Calmay's character actually turns a new leaf. I'll say that much. I'm not going to spoil anything in this one. Her character evolved quite a bit around the show as well, and this is a really payoff point for her. And Ethan Hawke and Oscar Isaac, it all pays off in this one. I very much enjoyed the CGI mayhem and all of it. The reason I find that this episode it didn't even hurt it that it was that short. The reason why all the other episodes were semi longer is because there was a lot of exposition, a lot of storytelling, and this episode literally was just like, here's what you were waiting for. If you were along for the ride the whole time, this is the payoff. Here we go. No pauses, no breaks. Let's hit it. That's basically what this was. And you don't need an hour-long episode to conclude that or to drive that home. Like, all the setup really just got that going. So honestly, I found that this was, I'm not sure if it's my favorite episode out of the 6 episodes that we had, but I'd say, well, maybe it's in my top 3. I loved episode 4 a lot, like a lot, because that one really tapped into the horror elements of what the show was going for. Episode 1 was great too, with how it was leading up, and this one kind of brought it home full circle, as it was, I guess, expected to have. And the ending brings, I wouldn't say unexpected. I guess if you're a comic fan, then you were waiting for this to happen. And if you're not a comic fan, or if you didn't know the lore of Moon Knight, then I don't know what you would have thought of this, because I mean, it was a long time coming, and they finally did it. And then, well, you'll see what I mean once you watch the show. And if you're confused and you didn't read the comics, you may want to pick something up and look into a little bit, or do a quick Google search or something, because there's a lot of information regarding things in the lore that this show merely just like barely even tapped into. It is very much, this show is very much tweaked for the MCU purposes and modernized a little bit to uh, represent more, yeah, to represent more culture, represent more elements. The comics definitely dealt with a lot of this, but I don't recall the early ones to deal with them this heavily. It really took deep runs to actually go into a lot of the elements that we've seen here, regardless of that. It's been a great show, a great ride, one of the best Disney Plus TV shows I find of recent. Um, it definitely was original, made itself its own, didn't rely on anything else, and it pulled it off. Now, ever since the first episode, did we actually ever doubt that was going to happen? Honestly. Have a good one, guys.